It is about 12 o'clock on Tuesday, August 6, 2019, and I'm still working at the Old Fiddlers Convention in Galax, Virginia, which is less than an hour away from Mount Airy, North Carolina. Mayberry. Me and Tony Davis, my buddy here, we've made a few videos in Mount Airy before. Now the big deal about Mount Airy is that is where Andy Griffith grew up, and he based the Andy Griffith show off of Mount Airy. That's why Mount Airy and Mayberry sound so similar. In a few episodes, he was even reading a newspaper that if you still frame it and zoom in, you can see the newspaper he's reading is actually a Mount Airy newspaper. Anyway, we are going down the little alleyway that takes you to Main Street, where they have a snappy lunch. And what was the name of the barber shop? Floyd's Barbershop and all that. So we're going to be eating at Snappy Lunch today. You're going to get one of the famous fried pork chop sandwich.
With all the fixes.
Yeah. With all the fixes. He's playing Pokemon the whole time. What kind of exclusive Pokemons is Mount Airy going to have? And yeah, there's the archway taking us into this famous downtown street, Floyd's Barbershop. And Adam the Woo, and you're going to hear me mention Adam the Woo a few times. Adam the Woo actually got his hair cut in Floyd's. It looks like they are, yeah, they're pretty much all lined up right now. I can't really do that today. And here it is, Snappy Lunch. Now at one point you could actually come up to the window and watch the fried pork chops being made right here. I don't know if they still make them on this grill. What do you think?
Occasionally they do.
Do they still occasionally do that? So you could come up and actually watch sandwiches being made right here from the window. Alright, they look a little crowded. Let's go in and see if we can get a spot though. Okay, so we're going kind of to the other dining area that's over beside Floyd's, I think.
Yeah,
Floyd's is in this area, and then yeah, see that's the window we were just at, right over there. All right, so we're going to be eating right here. All right, the sandwiches have arrived, and actually not that much time at all. And so we got it loaded down. So it came with coleslaw, chili, tomato. Just go ahead and, what's that?
Goes over the bun.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Hot.
Wow, this is, just look at that. It's delicious. It might be a little like burn your tongue hot, but it is delicious. We are back inside of the Andy Griffith Museum. And I've already done a video about this, so I'm not going to go through it all again. But Tony really wanted to see it. After seeing my video, he really wanted to see it. So he's live streaming, I think, on Facebook right now. But I'm really liking these caricatures here. Those are done really well. Yeah, and then there's the keys that Otis would hang outside of his cell and let himself in and out. And then the actual sheriff's office desk. I don't think these were actually screen used, but it's a very nice replica. And they've got clips from the show playing at all times. Oh, and right here, you can actually use the touch screen and skip through different movies and play little 1-minute clips from any one of the movies. Face in the Crowd. Now this is one of his better movies, but for some reason not as well known. What's this? No Time for Sergeants. Let's go ahead and play that clip. I'm kind of curious what that one is.
This is incredible. This is absolutely incredible. I am pleased. No, I'm happy.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You the one on the train duty today, Private?
Yes, sir. All week, sir.
You're congratulated. Just look at... What did you say?
It's that white glove.
Hey? Nothing, sir.
Something about all week.
Well, I done my best in one day, but just to be fair with you, it took me a week of rubbing and scrubbing to get it like this.
Is this man being punished for some infraction?
Oh, sir. Oh, heck no, sir. I'm PLO.
You're what?
Permanently trained orderly. Oh, but don't credit me none, though, sir. It's all Sergeant King's doings. He even got it fixed up so I don't even have to get classified.
Sir, that's impossible.
No, sir. He fixed it with some friends of his. Yes, sir. It was him got me to work so hard, telling me how latrines is your hobby and sticking your head down into things and all.
Sir, I can explain everything.
Somebody's in trouble.
You be bashful, Sergeant. Sir, I've been wanting to tell you about what a good sergeant he is. Oh, he solves our problems for us and helps us out on our difficult days of military service. And I guess that he's about the best dang sergeant there is in the whole dang Air Force. Sir, you really ought to get up off of his back.
Okay. Now I want to find and watch the entire movie. Now, right here, this was him as the villain in Spy Hard. That Leslie Nielsen movie that Weird Al Yankovic did the opening credits for. And he's got the robotic arm here. So, yeah, he had that to his credits as well. And then there's George Lindsay, aka Goober. His famous hat. And this was one, I don't know if it was the only one, but it's definitely one of the ones. It was screen used. And then it was bronzed and put here in the museum. There it is. There's a replica of the way it looked in the show. There he is wearing it right there. So this is the big surprise, the thing that we actually came out to Mount Airy for this time, since we've already seen all the Andy Griffith stuff. And that is the Siamese Twins exhibit. This is the Bunker Siamese Twins. That's buried just a few blocks from here. But there is a big exhibit about their life inside this lower building outside the Andy Griffith Museum. Okay, so here it is. This entire room is an exhibit dedicated to the Bunker Siamese Twins. And even if you don't know who they are, I'm sure you have seen some of these pictures, like this one here. I think this one has been featured in Ripley's Believe It or Not. Like every single book and museum that they've had has had a picture of the Bunker Twins. But as their story goes, they were born in Thailand. At the time it was called Meklong Siam. And the king heard of them and wanted them to make an appearance. The king was so interested in them, he educated them on proper etiquette. They actually had a pretty normal childhood as childhood goes, but almost their entire family was killed by a plague. But then they made their way to America because they knew that their condition made them marketable as, you know, they could just do shows, they could just sit there really and talk to people, have people come in, and they could charge for that. So they had an agent, they went to America, they started to learn English and all that. And so this exhibit actually goes through the timeline of their life. From China or Thailand to America, and then to New York, and then their tour that took them through America, also Canada and Cuba, but then they started specializing more along the lines of the Northeast for many years until they fired their agent and started keeping all the money from their shows, which developed a nice big nest egg. And they took that and they went on a vacation to North Carolina for a hunting and fishing vacation and liked it so much they ended up staying there. And that is why their exhibit is here. This is where they lived out the rest of their lives. Not as freaks in a freak show, but as farmers, successful farmers in this area. And they even married and had, between the two of them, 22 children to carry on their lineage. All here, all of that here in the Mount Airy area underneath Lookout Mountain. So the thing is, when the two of them married, they married sisters. They were the let's see, their names were Adeline and Sarah. Okay, and once they had become successful farmers, they got enough money to build 2 different houses. And they had a system where they would spend 3 days in one house, and then they would spend 3 days in the other house. And in each house, whoever owned that house, whichever twin owned that house, he was the master of that house, called the shots, and decided what was going to go on. And so it was a testament to compromise, really. I know it might be a little boring, but I think it's important to go over a few dates. They were born in Siam, now Thailand, in May of 1811, and then traveled to America in 1829 at the age of 18. And then they fired their agents, became independent in 1832, and they got their American citizenship in 1839. And then, let's see, they were married in 1843, and then they died of 1874 at the age of 62. Sorry about the wind. I know we're going to have some sound issues with the wind. I'm going to try to talk loud to combat it. But the White Plains Baptist Church right over here still has its old building. The old White Plains Baptist Church has this plaque right out front of it, and it reads, Ang and Chang Bunker, 1811 through 1874, conjoined twins born in Siam, toured widely in the U.S. before settling nearby to farm in 1839. The grave is 100 yards west, which I'm guessing is somewhere over in here. We'll find that a little later. I just wanted to point out that if you remember, Johnny Appleseed died in 1845 at the age of 71. So by the time they were done with their wide tour around the United States, mostly the Northeast, and decided to settle down and become farmers, that was when Johnny Appleseed was reaching his middle age, well, a kind of old age, realistically. So in all the tours that they did around that area, that would have been the same area that Johnny Appleseed was planting all of his nurseries. I imagine they probably crossed paths at some point. But like I said, that time period between the Revolutionary War and the Civil War was just ripe for creating mythologies and tall tales like this. And they were many times contemporaries with each other, because Davy Crockett actually lived and died also during this same exact time, around the same area as well. It's like Tony's already beat me to it. Over here, he's still live streaming. But there it is, guys. Just as they were in life, their gravestone is conjoined as well, and their wives, which died years later, are also, their names and dates are here, so I think they are also buried here. Don't know that for certain, but it's big enough for 4 graves here, so probably. Also, they died on the same day. I don't know which one died first. I think it was Chang. I think. And then, so one of them woke up and found that his brother was dead, and he just called to his children and said that it was time for him to go as well. And just a few hours later, he was dead. The coroner declared his cause of death to be fear, shock of being attached to his brother that had died. But because the two of them shared a circulatory system, and possibly even a respiratory system. One may have bled out into the other, rigor mortis or something spread from one to the other. But just a few hours after Chang died, Ang died. That's 50-50 that I'm getting that right, but I'm having a hard time finding it online. But anyway, I think that's how it went. So that was in January 17 of 1874, and here is where they're laid to rest. And somebody has left a little clown figurine, probably in remembrance of their time in the circus. Because I think they actually toured with the Barnum and Bailey Circus for a little while. Isn't that true? Is it Barnum and Bailey? So yeah, somebody left this there. Also, there's some quarters. So that may have been a customary thing to do when you came to see them at their freak show, is to give them quarters. So there's a lot of quarters out here. But there you go. Ang and Chang and their two wives, Sarah and Adeline, in their final resting place. After overcoming so much adversity, hardship, and then becoming successful businessmen, wealthy, finding love, creating gigantic families, and dying at the old age of 62 years old. Here they are. So that is going to be it for this one, guys. If you enjoyed this at all, please don't hesitate to indicate so by hitting a thumbs up like button. Leave some comments, subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure to hit that bell icon to turn on notifications. And I gotta be getting back to work. Gotta be getting back to drawing those funny portraits out at the Old Fillers Convention. I'll see you the next time I update.